So we're going to jump into a demonstration and we're going to talk about this unprecedented tool. And I'm on the inside of the development team, right? I get to see really how this tool is being created and what features it has. And so I'm speaking from a place of knowledge, right? From a place of I have the evidence to show how what we're launching is unprecedented. There will be people on the outside who have no idea of the internal mechanics of this tool that will think it's just like another trade manager or it's just another basic tool offered within the realm of MT4. I can tell you what you're going to see today is beyond MT4. It really is. And the reason we know that is because we had to develop custom code that interfaces with MT4 and force MT4 to do what we want it to do in order to accomplish our goal. And the purpose of this tool is to change everything. That's the purpose. We want to change everything. We set out on a mission a couple years ago to shine a bright light on manual trading and to test manual trading, to examine manual trading and ask ourselves, is this something that can be of great value to many people? Or is manual trading limited to just the technically intelligent and the emotionally and mentally disciplined, the self-motivated, the relentlessly persistent, right? All of those qualities have been required to be a good manual trader. And so the percentage out of the general population of how many people are effective manual traders is very small. And if you've been in trading for any length of time, you've probably heard the statistic, 95% of people lose money in trading. Now, interestingly enough, that statistic holds true in anything, right? Not just trading. I mean, how many businesses go out of business, right? The statistics say 98% of all businesses fail. So what's the difference? The truth is that in most projects, whether it's business, whether it's trading, whether it's school, whether it's an athletic competition, in any group scenario, obviously the percentage of high performers will be small. It has to be small because how else can you distinguish a high performer from a non-high performer, right? The term high means set apart, above the rest, right? So there's always going to be a small percentage. However, we approached manual trading as a team. We have a large and expansive team of developers and experienced traders, a group of what we call now trade scientists, web developers, consultants, beta testers. We approached the world of trading thinking about new possibilities. Okay, and this started 2 years ago. We thought just because things have always been a certain way, does that mean they always will be a certain way? And we thought we could change the ability of manual trading. We thought we could change the statistics about 95% of people failing. And with the launch of this tool, we definitely have already started to change that statistic. It's irrefutable at this point. And so that's why it changes everything, because the launch of this tool is changing the statistics. Within our community, we will not have a 95% fail rate for sure. It levels the playing field. And I'm going to show you how it levels the playing field and why it levels the playing field, right? Because this is not hyperbole. I'm not just throwing out, nice sounding statements, right? It's substantiated by science, by evidence. So what I'm going to do first, for those of you that are new, I know we have a lot of new people on this call that are checking this out for the first time. I'm going to go to the charts. Okay, I'm going to go to MT4. All right. If you don't know what MT4 is, I would say just observe today. If you don't know anything about trading, that's okay. You don't have to know about trading and have a bunch of experience. to succeed with our community, right? It'll take a little bit of time for you to learn some of the terms, just like anything, right? If you start something new, you're going to have to spend a little bit of time becoming familiar with things. But for those of you that are traders, you recognize this screen here. This is an MT4 chart. Okay. What's unique about this chart is that this chart has some markings on it that are unique to our software. So we built a manual trading software that sends out trade idea alerts that show potential opportunities to participate in the markets by placing a buy or a sell trade. Now, what I'm going to do, because we have new people on here, is I'm going to show you a couple things real quick so that you understand where we're going with this, right? This is important for you to understand as I set this up for you. So if you see the word buy right here on the chart, right, that's a buy alert. Now that alert appeared in real time at the close of this candle right here. That little tiny doji bull candle. That's when the alert appeared on the screen at the close of that candle. Okay, this is a 1 minute chart. So when this candle here closed, that's when the word popped up onto the screen, letting our members know that there's an opportunity to take a buy trade. Now the question is when do you get in? Do you get in right when the alert pops up? Well, you can. That's one of the options, right? You always have full control over how you want to trade. Now, what I'm sharing right now might be a little bit advanced for some of you, but stick with me because I'm going to show you how once I show you the tool that we're launching, how it's called the one-click trader, how we're going to show you how to take advantage and do what I'm showing you is possible all with one click of a button. Okay, so I'm showing you some advanced stuff right now, but you're gonna be able to do this by clicking a button. That's what I want you to realize. And this is really accurate, and it's some really cool and deep stuff. So when the alert pops up, letting the trader know there's an opportunity to place a buy trade and go long on this chart. Okay, we're currently looking at the US 30 chart, which is the futures contract for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You could also see there's these yellow lines on the chart, right? So you see the buy alert, and then you see these horizontal dashed yellow lines. Okay, what those are called pullback entries. That's what they're called, pullback entries. So our software, not only does it show you when the opportunity arises to get into a specific direction of trade, but it also shows you where the most ideal prices exist to get into a trade. Now, I'll say this, I'm not going to get into a debate with anyone. We don't even talk about this a lot within our own community, but this software that we built, it's an institutional grade software. Okay, so for those of you that have trading experience, you know that's a different level of value. Okay, it's very hard to find things that are institutional grade. What that means is you have the average person at home trying to trade, and then you have banks and hedge funds and financial institutions that are also trading in the same markets that we trade in. And usually the strategies and the data available to those two different groups of parties is completely different. So when we say 95% of people lose in trading, we're talking about retail traders. We're talking about the average person trading from home. Okay, but if you're trading and you work for an institution, well, in that world, the statistics are not 95% failure rate. The statistics are actually most people make money. Most banks make money trading in the markets. Most hedge funds make money trading in the markets. And it's because they've built systems and they have access to certain data points that a lot of retail traders are unaware of or don't have access to. And they take advantage of that data to make money. That's why. It's all about just knowledge and exposure. What have you been exposed to? I can tell you this is the part where I'm not going to debate with anyone. Just let time prove itself. This software has a lot of confluences with institutional grade decisions. Okay, so watch this. So I'm going to take my horizontal line tool here from MT4. I'm going to come down to this yellow dashed line, right? So this yellow dashed line, when did it appear on the screen? It appeared at the same time that the alert appeared on the screen, right? So when that buy alert popped up, when it said buy, that's when these two lines came in. Now watch this. I'm gonna extend this horizontal line just like that. Now look at this. This is not a coincidence that after the buy alert came out, price retraced, came back down, and where did it go to? It went right to the line that our software was already showing is the most ideal place to get into a buy trade. When you get into a buy trade, you have a hope or a preference that the market will go up from that point. And if you're looking at the chart, look what happened. This was yesterday in real time. There was a bounce off that price. Price came back down to retest that price again. It wicked back up and it kept finding support until the bears realized, man, this thing's going bullish. And what did it do from there? Started bouncing and then took off. Okay. Now, a lot of trading systems out there, they don't offer this level of accuracy. And what I'm talking about is I'm going to show you something that we help our traders learn how to use. This is a measurement tool that shows anybody the exact potential of risk to reward profit that someone can make on any given trade. Okay, so what I'm showing you here, this is just a Fibonacci tool, but we customize it within our community. You can see that there's an entry and here's the stop loss. Okay, so that's your risk right there. That's your setup from your entry to your stop loss. How many times of profit did this trade end up going? Well, if I were to zoom out, you could see that it came all the way up here, right? The market kept going up to about that point right there, which is just over 12R. Okay, that means it went 12 times the distance of your risk. So whatever your risk was, you can multiply that by 12, and that'll tell you what the potential reward was, right? So that means if someone was risking 1% of their account, so let's say you had 10 grand and you decided to risk $100 on that trade, the potential was 12 times the risk. That means the potential was $1,200 or 12%. Someone could have made 12% profit on that one trade, right? 12% of your gross account balance on one trade. So think about that. That's one alert. And we have a whole bunch of charts that have a whole bunch of alerts here. I can go back and show you. Right now, why am I showing you all this? Because it's like, show me the tool, show me the one click. I want to see the one click, right? Especially if you're a member, you're like, I already know about all this. The thing is that we couldn't release the one click trader until this was in place. A highly accurate, scientifically precise alert system showing you the timing and the location of how to place your trades. Okay, once you have a high level of accuracy with that, then you could bring in the convenience of something like a one-click pro trader that brings a lot of automation and a lot of convenience to people getting into trades. Because now, here's what we have. We have this incredible alert system, right? I'm not going to get into all the details of like why the alerts have different colors and all that. That's something you'd learn if you decide to join us. Every color means something different, and we educate you on that so that you know how to work with our alerts and which alerts have more strength than other alerts, right? We guide you through that whole process. But once you have this accurate alert system, now the trading success falls on you as a trader, meaning, okay, we're showing you the perfect places to get into a trade and how to arrange your stop loss and how to go for a big potential reward. Like that's done, right? We're showing you all that. But then you have the human factor, which is your fear, your inexperience, your emotion, your greed factor, right? All of those other things play a big role in how well you can do. And that's really why the statistic within the retail trading space of 95% of people fail, it's because of that. It's because of people's emotions It's because of people's lack of discipline, right? Trading reveals who you are. And so if you have fear and anxiety and panic in your life, if you have a poor relationship with money, if you've never experienced financial success, all of that's going to be revealed in the way that you trade and in the way that you manage your money, right? You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to cut your winners short. You're going to close the trades too early. You're going to let your losers run big, right? Because your ego doesn't want to be wrong, right? Because you haven't learned about how to put your ego in check, and you have fear of losing money. And so you let your losers grow big, and you don't know when to cut those losses, right? And you close the trades way too early when you were in a good position, and you only ended up making, 1% when you could have made 10%, right? We self-sabotage all the time. So it's the human factor that limits our results. So that's what brings us now to the next topic of discussion, which is how do we overcome the human part? We overcame the market movement part. We overcame the strategy part. The algorithm now is incredible. But now how do we fix the human part? And the only way to fix the human part is to remove the emotion out of it. The only way to fix the human part is you set up a plan, and then you become perfect in following that plan. So how does that work? So I'm going to show you a couple images here. Okay, and we're going to get into how we're planning on removing the human element that causes a lot of people to lose. So what we're looking at now, this is a set of menu settings, and this is built into a machine that everyone's going to get access to. And the machine is called the One-Click Pro Trader. Now, this is still manual trading. Okay, we're never going to be auto trading. This is not auto trading. It's not. It's probably as close as you can get to have an automated solution while still being compliant. We're working with Youngevity, right? All of this is inside of a company called Youngevity. It's a 26-year-old publicly traded company out of the United States, and they observe the law, and they always err on the side of caution. They don't take regulatory risks because it's all about sustainability. Like, who cares how cool your business is if you're not going to be here in a year from now, right? So longevity was the focus in mind when we built all of these tools. So in order to be compliant, you always have to make sure it's manual trading. You always have to make sure that the trader stays in full control of every single trade. Every trade's at their own discretion, that the traders understand the inherent risk of trading in the markets, right? They've evaluated their risk tolerance, and that the outcome of all their trades are the responsibility of the traders, and that we don't provide any type of financial advice. So all of those things are still very true and complete with this machine, right? But I'm going to show you how we've broken the barriers of what's possible in trading under those types of conditions, right? So how do you remain compliant, but then still make it easy for people to crush it? All right. And here's how we get into the menu now. So I'm going to show you the machine gives you an option of 4 different entries. Okay, 4 different entries on each alert. So the way it's going to work is once you download this machine onto your chart, when a trade alert pops up, instead of you having to go and manually click buy and sell and set your lot size and all that, right? What you're doing is you're going to pre-configure your settings in this menu. And then on every single alert, the machine is still going to ask you, do you want to take this trade? And it'll be up to you on every trade at your own discretion if you want to participate or not. So you have a set of pre-configured settings. And if you say yes, you want to take a trade, then the machine will obey your command, and it'll participate in that trade, and it'll behave exactly how you told it to behave. So what we built is a machine that allows a trader to put their personal and customized trading plan into the settings so that the machine can follow the directions to perfection. Because see, a lot of you have a trading plan. You know what you should do, right? Like, you should cut your losses short, let your winners run, use a trailing stop, have goals on how much you want to make per day. Like a lot of you know that that's what you're supposed to do. But again, the breakdown comes in actually executing that. Do you actually stick to your rules? Or do your emotions get in the way and you end up making poor decisions by deviating from your plan? Well, guess what? A machine doesn't have those emotions. A machine doesn't have the fear, the panic, the greed, revenge trading, deviating from the plan. A machine that's functioning correctly, all it does, it just does what you tell it to do. So imagine you tell the machine to follow your trading plan. That means now you have the ability to follow your trading plan to perfection. And now I'm going to show you what these settings do. It's going to blow you away. Okay, if you have any experience with trading, you're going to be like, what? The capabilities of this is insane. This is basically designed for master traders, for professional traders. And now, regardless of your experience, you'll be able to execute accordingly. That means you could be brand new and know nothing about trading, but then now you have the ability to execute by leveraging this technology as if you had 20 years of trading experience, and not just the experience, but the emotional fortitude, the emotional wherewithal to actually follow the plan. That's why this changes everything. We don't even know how big and how crazy this is going to get. So what do these settings do? First off, you have a true or false option on every single line item on the settings, right? So it says, do you want to get in on the initial entry? You could set that to true or false, right? So the machine is only going to do what you want it to do, and it's only going to get into the number of trades that you're getting into one at a time. All right. Now on every single entry, you could set your own percentage of risk. Now, why is that incredible? Because the machine can read your balance. And in trading, one of the most difficult things for a person to learn is how to calculate their lot size, which is the size of their trade, based on how much they want to risk multiplied against their balance. And your balance is constantly fluctuating. So you have to constantly make these calculations. That's where people that are not technical, they struggle, right? And they don't know how to achieve that type of precision. Well, guess what? The one-click trader does all of those calculations on every single entry perfectly. So you don't even have to think about, well, what's my lot size? Doesn't matter. All you have to tell the machine is what percentage of your account do you want to risk. Now watch this. This is going to take it to a whole new level. It's going to blow you away. Now it's asking you, when you're risking money, what's the basis for your risk? So, okay, you want to risk, for example, 0.5% per trade. Okay, 0.5% of what? Of your account balance? Did you know that in the world of trading, you have more options than just your general account balance, right? If you look down here on my screen, you can see down here that your trading terminal, right, with an MT4, it actually shows you 3 different types of financial balances. It shows you your regular balance, how much money is actually in your account. Then it shows you how much equity you currently have. And then it shows you your free margin. So there's 3 different kinds of balances when you're trading. Now, what are those? Quick review, right? Because this is not a training on MT4, but I want you to understand, so you understand how powerful the setting is. Your balance it's simple. It's how much money you have in your account. Now, if you have open trades, that's going to impact your equity. Because if you have open trades that you haven't closed yet, so you still don't know what the result of those trades are going to be, whether they're going to be a win or a loss, if you're currently winning on those trades, then you'll actually have an equity balance higher than your regular balance, right? So for example, let's say you got 10 grand, you take a trade, the trade is still open, you haven't closed it yet, so it's not an official part of your balance yet because it's still floating, and it's currently up $1,000, right? So you have 10 grand in your account and you currently have a trade running with $1,000 of profit. That means that your equity would actually say $11,000 because it's 10 grand plus a pending trade that's currently at $1,000 in profit. If you are losing $1,000, then it would say you have a $10,000 balance and you currently have $9,000 in equity. meaning that other $1,000 is missing because you're currently losing on that trade. And then the last balance here is your free margin. Okay, your free margin is the remaining portion of money that you have in your account that your broker of choice is allowing you to still take trades from. As you take trades, your free margin starts to go down rapidly, right? And that's all based on your leverage. Again, we're not going to get into all that. Just know that the free margin is always going to be a smaller balance than your regular balance and then your equity, right? Because you can't just go in on a $500 account and go take 10 million trades. You don't have enough money to do that, right? So that's where the free margin calculates, well, how much money do you really still have to work with if you have open trades? And so what's so cool is that as you're choosing how you want to risk your money, you can actually choose to risk it based on your regular balance or based on your equity or based on your free margin. So as you move towards equity, and then if you move the setting towards free margin, you start to get more and more conservative to protect yourself. And that is an amazing setting that's been built here. We also have a couple settings here where we're teaching traders not to chase the market. Okay, and that means if you show up to an alert and you're late to the party because the alert came out, 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, whatever, you have settings to determine when you want the alert to expire and go away so that you don't get into an alert late and end up chasing the market, right? So you're pre-configuring the setting to take away the temptation that you would normally experience without the setting, right? Because if you showed up to the chart, you're like, oh, an alert came out 18 minutes ago. I don't know if it's too late to get in or not. Oh, what should I do? What should I do? Well, instead of contemplating, just put in a setting where you're like, look, if it's already been 10 minutes, just make the alert go away. I missed it. There's a million more alerts. I'll just move on to the next one. I'm not going to be tempted to chase the market and get into it late. And you have that setting not only based on time, based on the number of candles, but also on how far the trade's already moved in profit. So let's say you're like, okay, I want to make 2% on every trade. And then you miss an alert, you're about 5 minutes late, and that alert is already in 1% profit, even though you didn't take it, it would have been in 1% profit. The machine is already calculating that. And it's already telling you, look, you've already missed half of your goal. So there's no point in getting in now, right? So you could choose to also have the alerts expire based on how much movement has already taken place before you were able to get to the alert. That's really, really powerful. The next setting that you have right here is how soon do you want to move your stop loss to break even to protect yourself? And that's based on an RR factor, which means it's based on risk to reward. Now, if you're brand new, the truth is you probably don't understand a lot of this. And I'm not going to try to break it down for you. If you are a trader, you know that it's all about risk to reward. And it's very powerful to control when you move your trade to risk-free to break even with your stop loss based on your risk to reward. So once you're at a 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 8, whatever you want to do, the machine will automatically pop that stop loss into break even as soon as that goal is achieved, right? So imagine it's amazing. All you did, you just clicked a button. That's all you did. You clicked the button and all of this is happening. Boom, 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 boom on your behalf, on your chart, right? It's like magic watching all of this perform right in front of your eyes, right? You also have a stop loss pad. Now, the stop loss pad, that basically just means where do you want to put your stop loss and how much breathing room do you want to give the trade, right? We always use the swing highs and the swing lows as our initial default placement of stop loss. That's the tightest stop loss we can have, and it's very appropriate. But of course, you have freedom if you want to move that. Okay, and then we also have, of course, a take profit based on your goals, and these are all customized. Guess what? All of that was just entry number 1. Remember, we have 4 entries, right? Why do we have 4 entries? Let me show you really quick. I'm going to go back to MT4 and show you why we have 4 entries. Okay, because this is important for you to know. Let me clear out all my drawings so I'm not confusing anyone. There we go. All right, so why do we have 4 entries? So this is cool because this will be a quick review for some people, and it'll also be new even for some of our members. So remember, when the alert comes out, you have the initial alert, right, which is connected to a candle. So on this buy alert right here, let's see, where's the alert? Okay, the alert is connected to this bull candle right there. That's where this alert came out. Okay, the way to know is because the alert is dead center with the letter U, it's dead center to the candle that made the alert appear. So here's the alert candle. All right, so these are the 4 different entries. You have entry number 1 on your settings. Then you have pullback entry number 2, right? How cool is that? Look at this alert, how right at that line, look how the market retraced and then it had a really hard bounce right off that pullback. Again, that is not a coincidence. Then you have pullback number 2, which is technically a 3rd entry. And on this 3rd entry, we give people the option to place 2 trades at that level. And I'll explain why, but I wanted to just show you, why do we have on the settings the ability for someone to place 4 different trades? It's because that's how the system was designed, where you have entry 1, entry 2, entry 3, and then entry 3 has a potential for 2 different trades, which would total 4 total positions. All right. Now let me erase these drawings. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to go to trade number 2. Now, guess what? We get to skip way ahead at this point, right? This isn't going to be a 10-hour training, but all the entries have the same settings, except there's one additional setting inside the other trades that are not in the initial trade. And that's because the initial trade has the biggest setup, all right? And the goal of the initial trade is to just bag some profit, right? The bigger the setup, the longer it's going to take you to move into profit. And so that's why it doesn't have this other setting. The other entries, when you're talking about those pullback entries, those have smaller setups. And so the risk to reward potential is exponentially greater. Okay, the risk to reward is huge. All right. So there's a setting that I want to point out for you. And I could feel it. Gosh, I could feel there's some people on the call that are like, what the heck is this guy talking about? I'll tell you this. Look, if you want to break free in 2023 financially, then just pay attention. Okay. If you have any desire to become financially independent and you're willing to take responsibility and do something about it, then just pay attention. All right. If you're confused right now, look, who cares? We were all confused. Everyone has to start from somewhere. I tell people all the time, this is easier than learning the English language, and this is easier than learning how to drive a car. So if you speak English and you know how to drive a car, guess what? You've already mastered 2 things that are way more difficult than what I'm talking about here. So don't get overwhelmed. It's all about education. It's all about, repetition. We have classes, we have education, we have private coaching. We hold you by the hand. We walk you step by step because we believe in the philosophy, no trader left behind. We want everyone to succeed. And we know everyone is going to learn at their own pace. Our community is all about support. Now, which setting do I want to point out to you? Right here, this setting. All these other settings are the same as what I just reviewed on each trade. But this setting right here says the trailing stop as a risk to reward mean bell curve risk to reward method. Okay, what the heck does that mean, right? That's a mouthful right there. All right, I'm going to show you a picture. You're going to love it, right? No one's seen this before. It was going to blow you away. So guess what? We have a trailing stop loss built in. However, the problem normally with trailing stops is knowing how far to trail by. Because on one hand, you want to give your trade room to breathe so that you don't get stopped out too early and you can take advantage of the move that you're in. On the other hand, you don't want to give it too much room to breathe because then you could be in a good amount of profit, but then it comes back and it takes you out at a much lower place and you gave away a lot of your profit. So that's always the dilemma. It's like, where's that balance? Every chart, every day, every time frame is completely different. How do I know how to set up my trailing stop, right? Look at what we built. We call this the bell curve trailing stop because it literally mimics the shape of a bell like this. It's crazy. This is crazy, okay? This is how it works. So you choose the apex of the bell. That means you choose what's the biggest breathing room you want on your trade. And then what the machine will do it'll automatically calculate where to start the trailing stop, move to break even to lock in your risk-free trade. The trailing stop starts backing off every step of the way, every increment of R factor of risk to reward, every ounce of profit you start making, it starts backing off and slowly giving the trade more and more room to breathe so that that move can start happening without you getting stopped out, especially if there's some pullbacks or retests. As soon as you hit the setting that you put in the menu to where you're like, look, if I've already gone 5R, if I've already made 8% on my trade, let's start locking in some profit. Let's not take a risk of losing all that or giving that money back. After it hits the setting that you put, it starts tightening back up step by step. Every increment of R factor, it starts getting closer and closer to where price is at to start securing more and more profit. It does all of this automatically. And remember, all you did was you clicked a button. Okay, this is crazy, right? This is a very unique feature based on the Rev alerts and based on the post-date alerts that, I mean, to do that manually, oh my gosh. And to do that on more than one trade, yeah, right. To do that on multiple charts, you got to be dreaming, son. Hey, now it's a possibility. Now this is real. You could do it with the click of a button because no human can trade with the precision and with the speed of a machine like this. That's why the machine is going to help you trade like an absolute pro. So every single entry is independently managed with its own risk to reward rules, its own stop losses, its own take profits, its own profit plan. Every trade is independent. And you could have different trailing factors on each trade. This is crazy. For those of you that are traders, you know, this is insane. It's a game changer. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the second page and we're going to jump to trade 4. Okay. We're almost done here. Trade number 4. Trade number 4. Remember, you have immediate entry. You got pullback number 1, the yellow line, which is technically your second trade. And then you got pullback number 2, which is technically your third trade. Now on that third trade, we're giving traders the option to add a second position. Now we call this the mitigation entry. Whoa, what? Right? That's another confusing term. Mitigation entry. What the heck is that? Right? You have to understand what it means to mitigate something, which means to offset something. All right, here's what we want to do. I'm back on the charts because I want to show you this. If someone gets into a trade right here, boom, they get into the next pullback trade, boom, they get into the next trade, boom. And let's say your desired risk is 0.5% total on the alert. Okay, what the machine is going to do for you is going to automatically know out of the 0.5%, how much of the 0.5% to pop in here, how much to pop in here, how much to pop in here. Now, the biggest problem we've seen in our community is that our traders get into these amazing trades where they're positioned for huge success. It never hit the stop loss, right? Look at where price came. It came down and retested a double bottom here based on this low right here, right? The bulls came in heavy. And people start getting profit right here where all their positions in profit, but then this price action starts scaring them away and getting them all nervous. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a little bit of profit. I should just close. I'm already up 1.5%. I don't want to lose it. No, I should just close. I'm not going to make any more money. I'm not destined for greatness. I'm not meant to be wealthy, right? All those fear factors play a role in our mind. And we close the trade right here because we got shooken out. We got scared. We got scared out of the trade. And we see that with our traders within our community over and over and over again. It's human nature. That's just the way it is. So that's why we're adding the 4th entry. It's called a mitigation entry. And the purpose of that entry is to just be left alone and not be closed out. It moves to break even at the appropriate time. And look, if you get stopped out at break even, who cares? You didn't lose anything. It was a break even trade. But it's going to move to break even. And once it's at break even, it's designed to just be left alone and forgotten about it. You walk away and just let it do its thing So that fourth position, because look, you're going to close your trades when you're going to close your trades. You're going to bag your profit when you're going to brag your profit. You want to go in there and scalp some profits. You could do all that. No problem. The mitigation entry, though, is going to mitigate, which means to offset. It's going to mitigate all the times you cut yourself short, right? So that mitigation entry is going to be left alone so that you can take advantage of these moves. Because let me tell you something, those 75% pullbacks right there on that second yellow line, a lot of times they run 20R, 30R, 50R, 100R, 200R. A week and a half ago, we had a trade that went 300R. That means it went 300 times into profit as what the risk would have been. So if you were risking even just 0.25%, even if you had a tiny little position, right? What's 0.25% times 300 factors of profit? That's 75% profit on that one trade. Imagine you risk 0.25% and then you bag 75% of profit. That's a trader's dream come true. Now, it's called mitigation entry because what it does is it's designed to offset any losses that you may have. Because guess what? You're going to take losses. There's no perfect trading system out there. That's impossible. And you will have losing trades every single day. Every day. So we built an extra position in there so that you can take advantage of the big runners to offset any of your losses so that all of your winning alerts are all profit. So you're not like, yeah, I made 10%, but then I also lost 8%. So I ended up with just a 2% profit, which is still great. That's amazing, right? That can grow and grow and grow and become amazing for you. But wouldn't it be nice to be like, look, I made 10% and then I had one mitigation entry that ran for 12% and I lost 8%. I ended up with a 14% net profit instead of a 2% net profit. That's the point. That's the difference right there, is allow that position to run so that you don't cut yourself short. And once you have the setting in there, right, it's all going to happen automatically. It's going to make sure that that position is being held on to. You're going to see it running. And it's going to blow people away, right? That's when the news starts coming out about how many R factors of profit our traders are winning. That's when it's going to go ballistic, because now we're going to have brand new traders that are catching, 10R, 20R, 50R, 80R trades. People with experience are going to be like, how are you doing that? You just started. You're brand new. How the heck are you catching these crazy moves in the market and you've only been trading for 2 weeks? Doesn't make any sense. Like I said, we are the transformation, okay? Just because things have always been a certain way does not mean they always will be that way. All right, so moving on from trade 4, I explained what the mitigation entry means. Now we're going to move on. We have a couple more settings and then we're going to be wrapped up here. We have overall trade management settings and then we have account management settings. These are really simple and they're also very, very powerful stuff. So everything I've been showing you is independent settings that are separate and independent on each trade, right? You got trade 1, trade 2, trade 3, trade 4. The next set of settings here apply to all your trades simultaneously. All right, so all these trade management settings apply simultaneously. All these account management settings apply to everything all at once. Now, again, what's the goal? The goal is for you to come up with a plan, for you to put that plan into your settings. That way, as you're trading, you're not being tempted to deviate from the plan. So some of the settings are, how many max number of open trades do you want on the buy side or on the sell side? That's important. So you're not just becoming trigger happy. What if you're not paying attention and you're already in 6 trades and you're not realizing that, you're running out of free margin and you're just clicking accept on these alerts. And now you're in 8 trades, 10 trades, right? You need to have a limit of how many open trades. And how do you know what limit to put? Simple. It's based on your overall risk. So if you say, look, I don't want to lose more than 3% a day. Okay. Well, then if 3% is your choice, and then you have to ask yourself, well, how much do you want to risk per trade then? I'll risk 0.25% per trade. Well, there you go. There you go. You already did the math. You don't want to lose more than 3%. and you're risking 0.25% total on each trade. So how many open trades can you have before you surpass your maximum risk of the day? 12, right? 3% divided by 0.25% is 12. There you go. Boom. So that's just all based on your risk to reward plan on how to determine how many maximum trades you want open at any given time. We also have a statistics display on the chart. You'll be able to customize what statistics you want displayed. And it's amazing because it'll show you your total floating risk to reward on all open trades all at once. I mean, this is stuff that you cannot calculate yourself on the fly. You just can't, right? Because you can't look at all the charts, all the positions, all the risks, all the potentials. You can't. The machine is doing that in real time automatically for you. It also shows you your floating profit and loss in US dollar. It shows you your floating profit and loss as a percentage of your balance. And then it also shows you how much time is left on each chart for the current candle that's being formed so that you know how to assess the market if you're watching the charts. All right, now we're going to move over to account management settings. Daily profit goal. If you're like, look, if I've already made 5%, I don't need to be greedy. I don't need to keep trading. So you're going to put in a daily profit goal. And once that's achieved, guess what? No more alerts come out for the rest of the trading day so that you're not tempted to keep risking your money. Trading is not about making money. It's about protecting your money. That's really what it's about. And so our goal is to get you into the place of protection as quickly as possible. So if you've reached a certain goal, no matter how fast you reach that goal, boom, all the alerts are done for the day so that you can do what? Go enjoy your life. That's the whole point. That's why we chose trading, so that we can have a beautiful life, so that we can go and actually do other things than just sit at the computer all day and work. Life is more than working, my friends. Go find a passion to pursue, hit your daily goal, and then go live your life. That's what 2023 is all about. Equity protection, that's your max loss threshold. How many losing trades do you want to allow yourself, right? You got all these parameters to protect yourself, right? And then you have a news filter and a time filter. So when there's major news events that impact the charts, you could protect yourself and put in the settings that no alerts are allowed to come out when there's high impact news events. That's super powerful. And then we also have a time of programming where each instrument that we have has already been tested, where we know the best times of each day to trade different types of charts. We make that available to the entire community, and you could program that schedule into your settings so that you don't get alerts outside of that money zone, outside of that ideal time to trade. You have to be in control. You have to stay in the driver's seat on all your trades, on all your schedules, but we're allowing you to set it all up in a pre-configured menu so that you don't get tempted to deviate from the plan. Okay, now this is crazy. And here's what I want to say. This is what I want to say is this. I mean, obviously by now, let me know in the chat if you learned something today. Let me know in the chat if you learned something today. And if you think that this is a fire product, right? Is this crazy or what? This is insane. There's a lot of settings here, right? It's going to set the trading world on fire. Here's what's very important. Very, very important is that this is going to attract a lot of new people to our community who do not have experience with risk management, right? Because risk management takes a little bit of time to learn. So that brings up a couple important topics. Number one, we're not looking for ignorant traders, okay? We're not looking for people who don't want to learn anything and they want to just come in and they think they're going to click a button and become a millionaire. No, that's impossible. That'll never be true. We're not looking for people who think that's true. We're looking for people that are like, wow, I'm impressed by the technology. I have confidence now that this will remove a lot of my emotions, a lot of my mistakes and errors, a lot of my temptations out of my trading. I'm willing to learn how to set up a trading plan, put those settings in my machine and go to work. Okay, we want people who are willing to learn something. We want to teach you the ins and outs of the financial market. The cool thing is that you have the possibility to earn while you learn, if you learn how to do this effectively, right? But at the end of the day, we're trying to equip people with a skill set where they understand what a stop loss is, where they understand what a lot size is, Why? Because these are skills that you can take with you for the rest of your life, right? We're not trying to keep you completely dependent on us and you learn nothing and you don't grow at all and you're not growing as a person, as an individual, right? We're trying to help you break free from the nest and get out and spread your wings with some powerful skill sets that you can carry with you for the rest of your life, skill sets that you can teach your children, change your generational wealth, right? You got to grow. You got to be willing. The other thing is this, is that you have to understand when it comes to compliance, everyone's going to have different settings. We are going to train people on what are reasonable plans, right? We're not going to tell you what settings to put in because that would be financial advice. You have to stay in control of every single trade that you take, right? However, what that means is that just how we can't share our settings, you know, that we're not like, here, just put these settings in. No, you got to learn what the settings do and you got to put them in yourself because it's your money, right? It's your broker account. You stay in full control. No one touches your money. You're not sending your money to anyone else ever. You stay in full control at all times, right? This is a personal wealth plan that you create. We can't have people sharing their settings, right? We're going to be really strict on that because we're going to have all these different groups and people using different settings, and we're not going to allow people to be like, look, I made 85% today on my account. These are my settings, right? Or people are like, wow, what settings are you using? Oh, we're going to be monitoring that type of activity because look, we're here to protect people. We take responsibility as leaders of this community to protect people. That's why we haven't even released the file yet to download, because we have one more really important training that we have to cover before we put this loaded gun into someone's hand. That's what this is, right? If someone doesn't know what they're doing and they enter the wrong settings and they mess themselves up, we only get one shot. We only get one shot to have a successful launch of this amazing revolutionary tool. Okay. And for those of you wondering, how is this unprecedented? Yeah, these are amazing settings. Never before have we seen a sophisticated manual trading risk to reward factor trade manager system that can independently manage open trades while waiting for decisions to be made by the user. That means that this thing's doing 10 things at once. It's waiting for your response. So it has certain functions on pause while facilitating active trades and still making sure that it's following the plan on other trades that decisions have already been made on, right? So it's dynamic. It's very powerful. And as much as it's powerful to help you compound your wealth and make 2023 the most financially rewarding year ever, you could also hurt yourself because of ignorance and say, oh man, I messed up. I don't know what I was doing. I got excited, right? Or you're going to blame the system. The system doesn't work. This doesn't work, right? We have to train you also on how to give yourself a pad and a cushion on going through your series of wins and losses to make sure that you don't take too big of a hit if you start out with too big of a risk on your account, right? We're going to also show people the value of starting with a demo account, a practice account, so that you're not risking any money at all, right? We're not charging more for this, and we're also not expecting people to use live money when they first receive this. We want people to practice because you have time. It's not going to take forever to learn this, right? After a week or two, you're going to be a total professional, right? And then it's game on, okay? And here's the last thing that I want to say before I bless you guys into the new year. We keep saying this, and if you join us, we're going to keep saying this. You're going to keep hearing this. We know the importance of setting proper expectations. The last thing you want to do is over promise and oversell something, and then it doesn't meet the expectations and you just leave people set up for disappointment. It's always better to under promise, undersell, and allow the product to do the speaking for you. That way people are like, wow, I tested it myself. I didn't know what to expect, but man, this is the real deal, right? That's our philosophy. Now, with that being said, I want to share a little bit of insight with you. This tool will shatter what has been known as reasonably possible in the world of trading. It's going to shatter the paradigms. And how do I know that? Why am I saying that with confidence? Because we've already tested it. Okay, we've tested it. All right. If you do the work and you study and you learn and you practice and you become effective with all the science, with all the data that we've collected already, I can tell you that we've already seen results far beyond anything I've ever seen on a consistent, reasonable, normal basis, meaning the new level of normal results is a lot higher because of this tool. I can tell you this, that if you learn what we're doing here, we believe there's no reason why a person should ever struggle again financially. With having the power of a technology like this in your hands, if someone is broke, it's because they're choosing to remain broke because they're not taking advantage of what's being made available to them. And here's the last thing. If you're new to get started with our community, we have live coaching. We have a lot, okay? The whole point is we do so much for our community. It's insane. We love it. We're passionate about it. It's our joy. It's our pleasure. It's $600 to start brand new, and it's $199 a month plus tax to stay on as a member. We've been getting feedback from people that are like, man, it's such a good deal. That is a low price because of all the value that we're providing, because of all the private coaching and the training and the hand holding and the communities and the group chats and the technologies and the softwares and the alerts and the companies. I mean, everything is just crazy, right? Here's what I want to tell you. We are undervalued. We are extremely undervalued. We did that on purpose. That was an agreement we came to with the amazing, amazing legacy company, Youngevity. They said, look, let's build something that most people in the world can afford to participate in so we could change a lot of lives, right? We all came to an agreement on that. We're gonna build a legacy. And the truth is, folks, here's the truth, is we could charge $1 million for what we offer. And maybe you're like, oh, whatever. No, that's not true. We could charge $1 million for what we offer, and that still would not be enough. And why is that? It's because we are way beyond just teaching you how to trade. We believe in the power of personal transformation. We believe in the ability to empower you to be confident in yourself and in your future, to teach you new realms of possibilities, to be inspired, to be surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals that are motivated about their future, motivated about their lives. There's no value on that. Okay, what we teach people to do is more valuable than anything money can buy. There is no price tag on the experience you're going to have by being a part of this community, right? Trading is just the tip of the iceberg. Yes, let's learn how to make some money. Great. There's a whole life beyond that. And that's what we're set out to show people, the life that exists beyond the concern of finances. Let me tell you this, 2023 is already the best year of our lives. I'm a man full of gratitude. I am just a very small piece of this huge puzzle that we call 8-Minute Trader and Youngevity Trading Academy. I'm a small piece. I am so honored to be surrounded by my business partners, our team, our developers, our leaders, our community, our traders. This is incredible. I've been in business for 19 years, since I was 18 years old, and I've never been a part of anything like this, ever. The tribe that's come together here, it's the best tribe ever. And it happened organically. It's a tribe that money cannot buy. We're all here with one intention, and that is to win. So either join us or watch us. But guess what? 2023 is a winning season for 8-Minute Trader. God bless you guys. I want to thank you for spending the last day of your year here to check out this revolutionary tool. I hope you're excited. I can't tell you when the file is available for download just yet. We need to help everyone download the post-8 alerts first, put their settings in place. We have one more crucial training that we have to do with everyone so that they don't get it wrong and they don't mess themselves up. We've worked so hard to get here. We do not want to take a chance and mess it up by rushing this process. We are more anxious to get this out than you are to receive it. Trust me on that, because we built it with the intention to make an impact. So we will keep you posted. Stay close. Be safe. It is New Year's Eve. Go out there, celebrate, dream big, and pat yourself on the back for being here at this time. God bless you again. Have a great rest of the day. We'll talk to you next time. No live calls until Tuesday, January 2nd or January 3rd, whatever that date is. Let me look at the calendar here real quick. What is Tuesday? Tuesday is the, no. There we go.
January 3rd, bud.
3rd, boom. All right, January 3rd, folks. That's our next live call. So there will not be a market open call on Monday the 2nd. No market open call, no training. Tuesday, January 3rd will be the next call. Thank you so much.